Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 88 of Super Prose Bros. I'm player one, Ike. And with me, as always,
Like
is.
to Eli and Potato Chip in this podcast is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
I did not, Pinocchio. Are those the same places they could
Like,
comment
share.
and subscribe?
That sure is.
Neat. Don't know if you folks can tell, but we're recording this a little earlier than usual.
We are a bit low energy this morning.
Yeah. So, what you been up to, man?
Uh, not not a whole hell of a lot. Um, I would say has it been 2 weeks, right?
Been 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay. Um, I would say I've been talking to somebody who is in Olympia, which is a bit of a fucking trek.
Where is it
And
again?
they're, huh?
Where?
Olympia.
Oh, yeah,
It's like an hour and a half south of me if traffic's not bad.
yeah.
So it's a bit of a hump. Um, and it's a little awkward because like they are in a really shitty financial situation because like they're contesting a weapons charge. So,
Bail.
mm, like they're getting it overturned. However, legal system takes forever.
I'm just
It's like,
talking like this is something you're seeing, right?
yeah,
Bail, like two big strikes. I don't know.
yeah.
Everybody I've
I
talked to and in all my experiences, it needs to be a very commutable experience, unless I guess, especially in your given your
I'd say
acceptance
the
of it.
the problem is really like that. The couple times that I've seen them, I've had to enable it, which is quickly feeling fucking tired.
Yeah, strike three, dude. Bail.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
And unless they are willing to meet online, that is just gonna be continue to be a problem.
Yeah, and that's probably what it'll have to be for a while until they can get their shit in order. It's
Like
just
what? Okay, so you've noted three things that are not awesome. What
mhm.
is awesome about them?
um very cool, very easy to like get along with. Big nerd. Um, very cute. Like there is a lot of positive and they're easy to hang out with. Just distance and money make it a bitch. So it may well just have to be like we just kind of chat online for a while until their situation changes a bit, which sucks.
So what's with the gun charge?
Um, it's kind of a fucking saga, but effectively they ended up getting poisoned by a psychiatrist who was like fined, lost their medical license, and I think is now in prison.
Okay.
Um, so they ended up like losing a job because they were literally being like almost overdosed on an antipsychotic uh, that shouldn't have been prescribed, and they ended up living in a really shitty situation. And the person they were like renting from punched them in the fucking head, and so they own a firearm. They pulled it on them, but no, you need to go. And so the person like had them arrested,
For
despite the fact that
what?
it was self defense for pulling a gun.
How how did they not go? Yeah, they assaulted me beforehand. How did that stand?
Honestly, not sure. Um, but like she's getting the charge. She's getting a continuation, so she's basically done like a psych eval,
Mm-hmm.
and they pretty much went, "Yeah, you're not crazy and you're not unhinged like the other person claimed you were." So like the charge is going to be overturned, but for right now, it's still on their record as like a violent felony,
Ooh.
so nobody will hire them.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyway, um, otherwise, I just been kind of living day to day. I had far too many fucking conference calls last week. Kill me. Ugh. 18 hours, 18 hours of meetings, but actually, I ended up just leaving like early on the Thursday meeting. It's
Wise.
like I was like noon. I'm like, I haven't talked. Boop, and just left. It's like, no, I can't imagine you're gonna start needing me. If you do, you can ping me. I'll come back. But it was too many meetings, way too many meetings. Oh god, make it stop. Um, yeah, I there I got to have a nerd perk up because they announced more stuff for PoE1 finally. Um, which I'm annoyed I have to wait till June 13th for that, but but it at least has a date. It's coming finally. Normally there's like a new fucking league every 3 months, and it's been like a year, almost literally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, PoE2 kind of fucking threw a wrench in their production cycle, so it's just yeah, it's been so long. I'm so happy. Thank God. Anyway, yeah, as I've been swimming a bunch, working out a bunch, reading a crazy Viking book that I'll talk about later,
Sick.
writing a decent amount,
Sick.
and getting back into editing. Yeah,
Woo.
so stuff,
Hell
but
yeah.
nothing particularly glamorous, I guess.
I think that last stuff you just like kind of low key dropped is quite glamorous, and you should be very proud of that.
Fair. Um, yeah, also did tripped balls on Saturday. That was fun. Um, which I had an absolute laughing fit at my cat.
How could you not?
Well, so I like Uso was getting up in my face, and so I just like kind of grabbed her face and smushed it back. And I don't. It looked like a derpy wide angle lens view, and I just fucking lost it. I just fucking cackled like a hyena for about 10 minutes until like it hurt, and I was just in tears.
That's awesome.
Dad watched a shit ton of Futurama while I was high. It was great. Literally just let season 2 roll. Hilarious.
It's a great choice.
Yeah. What about you? What's up?
So last weekend we did not record because I was in Hartford, Connecticut playing a Magic tournament.
Nerd.
Yup. Um, flew out there on like a Thursday because Hartford is impossible to get to. Got to witness a bus driver stand up for themselves and just deny a patron entrance to the bus, and it sounded like they were gonna miss their flight. But it was like, well, you were being an
Don't
asshole to me, so and this is my
don't,
bus. Go fuck
don't be a
yourself.
dick.
I didn't see what happened, so I hope the bus driver isn't what I would consider overreacting, but I
Sure.
doubt it. So probably taste it, bitch. Given her actions afterwards of trying to bar other people entrance to the bus when she was denied entrance so that she could try to change her mind, which is like, yeah, that's a great first step.
That's not a good look.
No, it was like, I'm quickly becoming
You're
100% bus driver on this one.
yeah. We're very rapidly team driver.
I mean, I was team driver from the get go. Service people are people too, but like,
Yeah,
I was like
that too.
maybe, and then she's like stood in front of the door. I was like, oh,
You have very
we're getting
rapidly
real
made an
fast.
asshole out of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Like I understood her plight, but her way of going about it was so selfish. I was like,
You killed any goodwill you might have gotten from me.
yeah. Well, there was very little like debate after stands in front of door, puts elbows out. I was like, okay. Which granted she needed to because she was like a pixie stick of a woman.
Yeah, but that immediately makes me go, all right, Karen.
Yeah, no, very, very. I mean, 19-year-old black girl, but still, she's getting a K name.
All right, Candace.
Yeah, yeah, Candace with a K. Absolutely, Candace with a K energy. Um, got on the plane. I finally checked off an achievement that I have never had that other people have. I don't know if you've had this, but I finally got a row all to myself on a plane.
Uh, I think I have actually. For a long time though.
So only issue is I can't. They make it difficult, and I didn't know how to pull up all the armrests. Also, the way they form the seats, it doesn't make for good laying down. Plus, I can't sleep that way, and we had turbulence, so it was a little bit lost on me. As
But you
opposed
could at
to,
least just kind of splay yourself out and just
yeah, but it's uncomfortable. So what's the
Yeah,
point?
but like
Oh,
you could at least like put your leg like you're not like your legs don't have to be knees pressed together
yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah
You
yeah
have it, but I mean the difference between there being somebody in the window seat versus not was like near zero. I didn't have to
it's the
like.
principle, Isaac.
Oh, I agree. It was dope. I took a picture. I was very excited. I didn't get to abuse it as much as my downstairs neighbor, who I'm going to get coffee with after this. Who on his flight to and from Orlando, which is where his family lives, and he has
Mm-hmm.
escaped, as he likes to say, for Christmas, he took red eyes both times. He got the aisle to himself, and he can sleep on a plane. So he got like maximum value, and also didn't have
Solid.
turbulence that he knows of. Either way, got that. Get into Hartford at like midnight. Get off the plane. I'm waiting for an Uber. I ask for an Uber, and the app's like, "Yeah, it'll be 25 minutes." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm in like I'm at a major airport in a relatively big metro area, I think, but apparently not. More on that in a minute. And I'm like waiting 25 minutes. I'm like, this can't be great. I was standing out there waiting, and there's this lady like directing traffic at midnight, which that's just funny because there fucking isn't any. There's like 12 cars, and she's shouting at them, "All right, move forward, move forward. This isn't a parking lot. Move forward." I'm like, she's trying just so hard to fucking matter and like keep her job and like let her boss know that like this, you got to keep me on the payroll. I'm like, he really fucking doesn't. You are doing nothing. If you were here, the same things would be happening right now, except my ears wouldn't be ringing. Turns out I might have been wrong on the assumption of Hartford being a major metro, as the next day when I wake up to go get coffee, 4 coffee shops in the downtown Hartford area are just closed for the weekend.
But
Just closed normally. These aren't abnormal business hours. They are they're listed their business hours. They just aren't open on weekends because why would you want coffee on a weekend? It's like fucking what? Also, the fact that Magic was on the mark, it was the only thing on the convention center marquee. Anytime that happens at any convention center ever, your town's fucking small. It's not a big city. It doesn't deserve an airport, that's for goddamn sure.
you don't deserve that.
Dude, like it's just 1,000 people coming to a thing is not, oh my god. Like that's all there was. There's 1,000 people. It's just not that big. Like if it's cycling through the marquee, okay, whatever. It was the only thing on the marquee. And it was just there like blazing like the sun, being like, magic. It's like, all right, chill. I come back one night. This guy, I don't want to say ruined homeless interactions for me, but he's definitely going to make me less likely to give money in the future. So I come back after getting a great Italian dinner out with some friends. My hand is on the door to the hotel, and I hear, "Hey man, can I talk to you for a second?" And for whatever reason, I entertain it and I turn around. First mistake. The guy starts talking to me. He goes, "Look, man, my dad was a Marine. He raised me never to ask for anything. Look at my shoes. They're $300 shoes. I don't need your money." Like, this is the beginning of the pitch. I'm like,
Boy.
fuck me. Like, this is going to suck. And then he goes on, he goes, "I just wonder if you have a penny that you don't need." I'm just like, dude, fucking just ask me. Just say, "Hey, can I have some money?" What is with this goddamn wind up? I'm like, no, dude, I've got $1. Can I give you $1? And he goes, nah, man. And then he continues to like do this weird bass backwards fucking like Amway sales pitch that just makes me want to go on a murder spree. I'm like, just take the money. I don't. I'm worried that if I turn around, you're gonna do something to me, and it's not mug me because at that point I've been fine with it because we've got the transaction
Then
over
we'd just be
sooner.
done.
Yeah, just fucking steal my wallet. Let me go to bed. I'm just like, eventually I'm like, dude, all I have is $1. Is that okay? He goes, yeah, that's 99 cents more than what I asked for. That's great. I was like, sick. And then he continues trying talking, and I was like, nope. And I just like turned around. And I can hear him kind of scoff behind me. And if I didn't have shit to do the following day, I'd been like turn around and try to snatch that dollar away from his bitch ass. It's like, God damn it, dude. You're making it worse for all the unhoused out here, you son of a bitch. With your like Billy Graham sales pitch, you bastard. So the weekend started off amazingly good in that of the main tournament. I started off 7 wins, a loss, and a draw, which is actually my best. I look back, it's my best start to any of these tournaments ever. And sadly, the second day was not as plentiful. It was actually just slightly not plentiful enough. If I had had one more win, I would have qualified for Pro Tour Atlanta this fall. However, came up a win short. Ended up getting. That being said, I still got 47th out of like basically 1,000 people. So mathematically had a great weekend, but objective wise was just a little outside. Since my return, I have loving, like, I'm so glad I'm doing this. I love the process of doing this. I'm putting away all my cards, which I love. Makes me feel like an adult, makes me feel like I'm, taking care of shit, all that, bringing order to chaos. I love it. However, I'm missing cards to my knowledge and I can't find them, and fuck me, do I hate that feeling of like, I know I have this. I know I have this. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? But it's like, times 20 because cards are easy to like misplace and like lose or maybe sell and forget about. I don't know. So I'm just like
Yeah.
over here like freaking out a lot of times. There's a goddamn card goblin coming in and stealing my commons. Motherfucker, I need those. They're cornerstones of the format. And other than that, after we finish our session and I get a cup of coffee today, I am going to be applying to a lot of jobbies because since miracles didn't happen on, this last weekend in Hartford, I need monies for December. So, whee!
Yay!
Yeah, very much.
Mm.
So, what are some other things? Wait, should we do the other one first?
Sure. Again.
All right, we're gonna get this out of the way because we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and then we're gonna get into the thing that I was winding up to. There's a decent wind up too. I think
False start.
I think I need it. Yeah, it was fucking flags on the play. Dude, flags were on the play before we started recording with how groggy I am. Fuck me.
Yeah.
So both of us in differing weeks watched Sinners.
Yarp.
Enjoyed it predominantly, however, to different acclaim. So we're going to talk about it for a little bit for your enjoyment, as it's still, I believe, in theaters.
It probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I know I sent myself this. What did you think of it?
I thought it was too busy. It there's a lot of it that I liked. The problem is that it had too many things going on. And so it felt like it got lost in the sauce on its own volition.
I mean, art movie.
It like changes genre like 3 different times.
Uh,
Gazoon.
I don't think that makes it a bad thing necessarily, but I agree that it
Sure.
does make it. I do agree that it leans on busy in certain ways. What would you say the third genre is?
So like it has the kind of, I don't know how you'd want to typify the first act being like crime drama. That's not quite right, but something along those lines.
I guess a historical crime drama, sure.
Yeah. Um like horror and with weird splashings of musical.
I think that kind of, I'm not sure, like, that is a major one scene aspect.
It's two scenes. Like there's like two very dedicated musical numbers, and one of them makes fucking zero sense to me.
I know which one you're talking about, which I
Like
think we can
fucking
actually review this movie without spoiling it. So I kind of want to not,
sure.
especially can people can easily see it. So, eh, I think I know the ones you're talking about. I think I agree with one of them and less with the other. But
The jig that happens, why? It's just so out of nowhere.
you're
It's
talking
just
about where it's just the four people, right?
uh, that less so, more where that's like the whole grouping of them outside.
Yeah, there's four of them.
No, there's like 25 of them. What are you talking about?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like also the
That one didn't even register to me. So
I was just like it's what, like what, why?
I thought you were talking about like the beginning of the movie kind of leans that way a lot more, and then
No,
given the output, I was a
that
little bit
makes
perplexed.
way more sense because it makes way more sense with like the kid and all of the music around him because it's what he's fixated on.
I agree,
It's like that makes more sense to
but
me.
the way it kind, I thought it was setting up more, and then it kind of didn't really come
Just didn't.
through as much
Yeah,
as I expected.
yeah. Like I also some of the some of the vampire thing made zero sense to me. Um, like I can't not spoil to point out a couple things that
Yeah, I was
irked
gonna
me.
say we also just said vampire, so
I mean that's in the trailer.
is it
Absolutely. Like I was more surprised that it wasn't a bigger part of the movie with how prominently it's
sure?
featured in the trailer.
All right. Spoiler alert. Richard, tell them when we're done in three, two, one. Hit it.
Spoilers for Sinners ends at 43 minutes and 43 seconds.
Um, so like Smoke and um the girlfriend.
Hmm.
Why do they go back outside? They're invited in. Why do they leave? Why don't they just start biting people?
When are you talking about?
So when she comes back in,
Oh, and they have a fun time and he gets bit.
yeah, they just like voluntarily leave. It makes it
Doesn't
makes zero
she
sense.
get something like poured on her or something like that? I think there's something that happens to her where she feels threatened and bounces.
I don't think
I
so.
think there's like garlic or holy water, or there's something that happens to her from the other
Oh,
brothers.
maybe you're right. She might hit her with like garlic or something. But
Yeah, I
but
think
he doesn't.
no, but like, yeah, but he's also not invited in. He's just inside.
Yeah, but they make a point that you have to get them outside before they turn.
Sure. I don't know.
It's just it's kind of stupid. Um,
A monster
so,
like a monster being sensical, I think, is a good writing convention. I think a monster being nonsensical isn't a bad writing convention. I think it's I think a
sure,
lot of the problems that I had with this and that you had with this are not problems but absence of excellence, and I don't think those are the same thing.
sure. And that's a very minor gripe,
Hmm.
all things considered. Like I, hmm.
Yeah.
So like one of the things that kind of just I really liked a lot of the character interaction from like the first half of the movie. Like I really like the first act of the movie. I think the first act of the movie is probably my favorite part of the movie.
It's
Like
really good.
I would pay to see just a whole movie of the Smokestack twins doing Smokestacks twin shit.
Sure.
Like Michael B. Jordan fucking crushed it playing the twins,
Yeah, it was amazing.
unquestionably. Um, and just other thing, like I don't think they needed the ending scene where they show um the preacher's kid being grown up and like retired blues star or like blues musician. Don't
Yeah,
think I just that there was just a lot of that where it just felt fucking gratuitous. Like
I
I think
kind
you
of
just
like
show him
that.
driving away.
I think him driving away would have been fine. I think also, I think that scene is kind of cool, but I think also him drive, like, I agree that it's unnecessary, but I kind of fucked with it. I don't know. I thought it was
It
kind of
also
neat nod and well shot.
like I felt like they did really weird wants of like the prime vampire Irish dork. Like
What bub?
I was so confused what he was after. Like it's like does he just want to turn people? Does he want Michael to just play guitar for him eternally? Like what is why does he draw it out? Like it's just so strange.
I mean, when you feel immortal, I think you get a little heady at times.
I guess. Um
So there's that. I think it's a culmination of both. I do think he wants the kid to play for him forever. I think he is enchanted by his music, like he said. However, I think a lot of the other stuff he said is just ploys. I don't think I don't think all of it is. I think some of the stuff that he says, especially when outside and trying to get people to let them inside, I think are not. I think he is just trying to use it as like leverage of like we're gonna go
sure.
turn everybody in the town. It's like, I mean, maybe,
Like
but I
that
think
makes
there's a chance
sense.
he's also like trying to get them to come out for that reason.
Yeah, like that made sense to me. And he's just trying to like bait them. Like that was totally fine. But like
Yeah.
he's like the whole rant about like basically hating religion, and it was just like, huh? There was just a couple of things like that where it just kind of made me scratch my head a bit. Um,
So I will say that one of my cons with this is that it's a bit more style and metaphor than substance and story, and I don't think that's entirely a bad thing. But I do think for us that can be annoying at times because the way we prefer to write and the way we prefer to have our stories told.
yeah,
And an aspect of this that is really going on here is it kind of, I think this is one of the casualties of it, is this kind of incongruity, is that there's a lot of metaphors of culture theft and cultural experience for African Americans.
sure,
And some of it gets a little, it starts to be a little less subtle and camouflage and kind of pops its head out occasionally.
yeah,
And
like
obviously it would have been better if it kind of meshed a little bit more cleanly. However, the I do think it is better. I I do think it's a not bad problem to have, given
sure,
what is Michael or given fuck Ryan Coogler's was like attempting to do here, and I think did a pretty good job of
sure,
making a monster movie that's a period piece that talks low key about the history of a people and their culture and the way that it was, eaten, the way that it was, gained control of, not unlike a vampire. And I think there is an argument for rock and roll music, blues music, jazz music being commodified by a white overlord. And a pretty cool metaphor for that is being bit by a vampire.
sure. And like I do respect that metaphor, and I that is cool. It still just doesn't detract from me that there is just too many extra things. It feels
Yeah.
like for example, the other big one that I'm like, it's cool, but why?
Mm,
Like the whole KKK scene at the end is stupid.
Oh no, dude, that's fun as shit.
No, but why is it? It's such a downgrade. You were fighting supernatural vampires, and now you're just fighting a bunch of fat white fucks.
I
Like it's such a downgrade.
it was just fan service.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's fun
it's so
fan service. You get to have
gratuitous.
Michael B. Jordan kill a bunch of KKK guys. It's gonna take 5-10 minutes, and then he's gonna die and go to his wife. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It felt so meh. It just coming off the heels of fighting a deity-esque vampire, like, and
I
him
think it was
fighting
nice
his
for the
own
character to go out
brother.
on a win as opposed to a whimper. Also, like having Michael B. Jordan like bleed out from a fight with a vampire, die from exhaustion or whatever, have been kind of lame. But having him be like, yeah, especially considering it's talked about, it's shown this idea that even when you think you get a fair deal in getting a buy from a white man, no, there's an ulterior motive. Again, playing with the metaphor, but to have them be aware of that, kind of talking about know your enemy and be prepared for them, like because they knew they were coming. Like them getting told this was not news to them. The understanding of the way like they had like the armaments they had is that they knew that they were going to fight for this place at some point, and that they were kind of ready for the KKK to come back. Like, oh, the Klan, what? That's gone. They're like, okay. Like, I think the idea was that they like it's still kind of flushing out the story and the perception of the characters, and also like I don't know, Michael B. Jordan's a fucking hot black dude. We don't want to see him die shitty. We want to see him die awesome.
I mean, him dying off the heels of literally fighting his own sibling and some crazy vampire with gigantic ass claws. It's not nothing.
Oh, it's not nothing, but I just think give the people what they really want.
It just feels like such a stupid afterthought, or it just should have been more prominently focused. Because it feels like the KKK thing is almost forgot about until the random chick that the vampire bit is like, "We're gonna come kill you later." We were, but I'm not a part of that anymore. It's like it just I don't know. It's one of those where it just feels like it's too bloated, and like it feels like they started with the idea with the KKK being the primary antagonist, and someone went, "Oh, that's been done," and like, shit, we got to rewrite the script. But I like this scene, so we're gonna keep it. Like
I
that's
mean,
what it felt like.
it's not impossible. Um, I will agree. It's not storytelling wise the strongest. I think it's very fun. I think
Sure,
it's
no,
crowd pleasing as
it's dope. It's just a
shit.
scene from COD, and you just get to see Michael B. Jordan roll people out.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
very, very entertaining.
yeah.
Don't not taking that away, but it's
Yeah.
also just like, eh?
Yeah. It was a little bit outside the pale. I think that's a fair criticism. But
Like
give the
I
people
do
what they
think
want. I don't know.
him like dying and getting to see his wife and child, great. I just feel like the mechanism. It just felt like a weird mechanism to get them there because I feel like that was ultimately the point.
Yeah, I think it's a weird mechanism in the way it was written, not in what it was. I think there are ways that they could easily set it up better where you would have felt better about it. It was a little. There were aspects of this movie that were laissez-faire is not quite the right word, but kind of loosely set up and put in.
Yeah,
And there was. I mean, part of it was there was a lot going on, and this
yeah,
is in many ways for I don't even know for what he's done because Coogler has done some like Black Panther is like there's a lot going on there too. But
yeah.
I think this one
I
might be have a little bit of a broader scope and probably his control
mm-hmm.
and what he
I
decided to do with it. My only big quibble, and I would want to re-see the movie to make sure that I saw this right. But when I saw it in theaters,
mm-hmm.
when the piano player sacrifices himself, it seems like it literally it my to my memory they are running the opposite way. Like most of them are running out of the building, and then he like cuts himself, and I was like, "What is that for?" Like it was like the most like random. Like I want to
Yeah,
rewatch that scene because it felt like it was
I need to as well. I'm not 100% sure.
is to my mind it like literally is a nothing burger, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like because it's easy to have a scene where that does something. Like all you have to
Yeah,
do is have him running up the stairs, and he jumps off the stairs and cuts himself, and goes free feast or something like that. Sure, but like That's not what happened. It just felt like, eh. That being said, if, assuming you are out of gripes,
I love hate the scene. I have one more quibble, and it's like a musical quibble. The
sure,
scene where he's playing guitar in the juke joint, and it's
uh,
like every genre of music starts cutting in.
sure,
One that just happens out of fucking left field,
yeah,
where the fucking like Hendrix lookalike just appears. I'm like, what? Um, it's like a fucking jump scare.
sure.
Um, but two, I don't like that they're not playing a coherent piece. I really wanted them to all be contributing to one coherent like melody because I think that would have been so cool, and I think that was a horribly missed opportunity.
I think it's fair. I think the reason they did it otherwise, I think that's just a stylish. I think Coogler prefers the
I think
different.
it's a great celebration of like
Yeah,
art and things inspired by like the African American community, and that is their history. 100% agree, is dope,
yeah.
but I
You just
just it sounded discordant, and I
yeah,
couldn't appreciate it because it didn't sound like music; it sounded like noise.
and I think that's a fair criticism, but I think that's a. While I definitely agree with you, I know and I don't understand it, but I know people out there that like that scene more for it being discordant, which I don't
Sure,
understand that shit. But
sure.
so I think it was just a stylish just preference.
That being said, damn, the music in that movie is great.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. The music in that movie is fucking great. The cinematography is gorgeous. It's just like a milkshake that's dripping over the screen, except, not in a disgusting, I'm gonna have to clean that up later sort of way.
Choreography very very tight. Like even
Yep.
fight choreography is very very tight.
Yeah.
Um, which I'm always a big fan of.
Especially considering it's group fight choreography and usually hate that, but the way it played out was kind of like group fight choreography in that, like, yeah, numbers matter. And that's
Yeah,
like part of the reason they just get their ass, like, they basically get their ass kicked.
yeah. Like they just slowly lose. Um, I did like a lot of the dialogue is super super tight. Like I said earlier, Michael B. Jordan. I literally didn't recognize that he was both the twins,
Yep. I
which
don't know how, but sure.
I just didn't think he was Smoke.
I know. I saw it and I was like, oh, they're doing a fucking Winklevoss twins thing. Got it. It's just kind of funny how it hits one way for somebody, one way for another. I don't know.
I was just like, oh, I wonder who the fuck this guy is.
You're over here looking at Clark Kent being like, can't believe
I
that's
can't be
Superman.
Superman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here like, are you fucking kidding me?
The guy has glasses. Outrageous. Yeah, like, but just he does such a good job making them so different.
He does. He also does a great job in the writing of the movie in that you understand basically all the characters,
Yep.
and almost all of them are very smart. Like, none of them are like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fucking, even the door guy is like, the fuck? No. Like, it's just like not letting people in.
Yeah.
And it's like, even the one time the girl, like the then turned girl vampire does come in, the way it happens makes sense. Like, the way she talks to him,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you got, but like, I don't know,
But
so much of that.
he didn't think he needed to be on guard for that.
Yeah, he didn't think he needed to be on guard, and the way she set it up, because he even kind of goes, "Why do you want to ask?" And she's like, "It's called being polite," and like she's
Yeah.
like gives him shit like she would because of their past relationship,
Yeah.
and it's like there's a lot, like the little things are just like the way they handle the vampires and the way the characters kind of quickly get on top of it, which is kind of talking to black coworkers of mine. They're like, "Yeah, like being." Being brought up under, Sam Crow oppression over the decades, it does, like, black people would beat vampires more frequently than white people would because those things they wouldn't slough off. They would be like alarm bells.
But like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't trust you.
it turns out, like, if you talk as a white person, if you talk to black people, they kind of do have a spidey sense because sadly they've had to, and
Yeah.
they've generationally had to, because when you are asked, hey, you want to do this thing for me? It's like, why? Like, how
Yeah,
many times am I going to be the patsy for a white guy?
there is a reason that pretty much every black person will hear some things like, "Oh, that's white people shit."
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yep. Artemis has told me any number of times like, no, that's white people shit. I was like,
Yep.
damn, okay, fair.
Well, I mean, we effectively, metaphorically speaking, in a cultural sense, have not had white people don't have a natural predator, and so we've gotten
eh,
fat and stupid
yep,
because of it, socially speaking. Like in
yeah.
so many ways, just like we don't.
There are just many things we take for granted and don't think to pay attention to.
Yeah,
Yep.
and like the punishment is zill. Like financial punishment for a white guy of oops, made a mistake investing. Well, I'm gonna call mom and dad and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
If a black person does that, they're just fucked. Calling mom and dad is just like letting them know that you're dead. There's no help there. They don't have anything to give. Like
Yeah. Oftentimes.
oftentimes it's just like, oh, that sucks on me. It's like
Yeah.
we can give you a soup and a cot. Like there's no money here.
Yeah. It's.
So
I
bring
do
it
think.
good.
As I say, I do think that a lot of people gave, and this is, I think, a part of how I just generally look at stuff. But like,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people also gave a lot of flowers to this movie because it is huge representation.
Yeah.
Which very very cool, and like I think that would inspire me to go see a movie or make it more likely for a movie to stand out to me. But like I don't give a movie extra credit, for lack of a better term,
Sure.
for doing that. Which
It's not one of your it's not one of your like big areas. It's totally fine.
yeah.
I do think though that the metaphors in this movie for culture theft, having it be a vampire, having one, kind of taking it, gaining control of it in regards to music, I really do think that was very cool
Mm-hmm.
and like a little bit, it was hidden the right amount where it's not impossible to see, but like once you like kind of put two and two together, it's like, oh, that's pretty tight. That does hold up under a lot of scrutiny there. And just the dance sequence, I know you didn't like the musical mesh, but the rest of it is kind of like, holy crap. I mean, like it's jerked off to, but also I think it's proper to do so. It's pretty like it's an achievement the way they shot it.
Mm-hmm.
If not like if you, even if you don't like the output. And as you said, awesome fucking music.
That's probably more blues music than I've listened to in the last 5 years, but
Yeah.
worth it.
And also the way it fits in, like you get to hear it, but it fits into the scenes because of the characters is really kind of fun.
Yeah, I think one of like my first like part of why like I really liked the start is a lot of the music felt very like organic. We're just like
Yeah.
when he's driving with um like the preacher's kid,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "You got the guitar, let's fucking hear it." And
Yep.
seeing like Smoke just get excited for his cousin playing is just like, yeah,
Yeah, that's really fucking cool.
let's make some fucking money. I think that is where I was convinced that it wasn't Michael B. Jordan. Hilariously.
That's funny. All right, as we do have another topic of the day, let's wrap this up with a rating. What would you give this?
I would give it like a 7.5.
I think I have properly given it time, and I think I'm giving it like about an 8, maybe a little bit, like a 7.8 or something like that. But in that, like 8 minus kind of thing, I think I initially had it a little higher, but upon retrospect and letting
Yeah.
it sit, moved down just a little. But it's damn good. I would highly recommend seeing it. Uh, I mean anything of 7.5 and above, I think usually is just a movie that people, especially considering this one is going to be a cultural zeitgeist point. I think if you're on the fence about it, you should definitely go see it. And if you were pretty sure you should go see it, we are not telling you to not. So
Yeah.
get out
Like
there and
I
enjoy.
don't regret seeing it. Very like happy I saw it. Just
And I mean, this dovetails slightly into our next segment, which is we're going to talk about writing conventions today, and the writing conventions in this movie are not ones we're going to bring up that we believe should retire. So the idea of today's like kind of mainer segment is that we're going to talk about 5 writing conventions that we'd like to see, kind of retired, done away with for varying reasons, and 5, some of which are kind of tied into the others that we'd like to see done more. So without further ado, Broskinkowski, what is the first writing convention that people should retire?
I am so tired of some milquetoast bastard being just fawned over. I don't know why it's done. I don't know why people
What are some examples of this?
like maybe milquetoast isn't like the right, but just there are so many times that it feels like there are characters with no personality that are just like, ooh, he's so perfect. Like probably the most egregious offender is harem animes are awful at this. Probably the worst offender is fucking Sword Art Online, for example.
Oh yeah.
Kirito has no personality. He is the blankest fucker alive, and for some reason, people just like panties drop when he walks in the room. I can't explain it. Like, there's just too many examples of that kind of shit where
Yeah.
people are
I
just like,
I think I can
stop
tell
it.
you why this is a thing, but I agree
I
that it
know
doesn't need to be
exactly why
retired.
it's a thing because it's so easy to project on him to get the self fantasy, but
Yeah, it's
oh
it's just it's the same reason that, like, and I love him as a person, and I don't think he's a bad actor, but the reason Keanu Reeves has such a long and storied career up in, like, I think now it's different because he's older, but before he was older, it's because he was kind of like an empty vessel that any viewer could see themselves as him,
sure,
because he's just so generic. Like his early career, no offense to him, love him, I think he did a great job, but like as Neo, like, I know kung fu is just the most bland delivery of all time. But I mean, that's kind of what he did. He was a perfect,
yeah,
like, main character for heroes where you could see yourself as them. And I think they're kind of doing the same thing here. But yeah, it is really egregious in animes, especially. It's like this character is
yeah. It's like
nothing.
he sucks.
Yeah. He's and it's not like he's getting that because of his power or like how good he is. Like people are fawning over him before they know how like busted he is as a fighter.
Yeah, it's boo, boo, boo this
So,
man.
well, he boos this man. I really would like it if they retired that all mutants in every X-Men, like 2.0 show have superhuman recovery and can take a beating. Every one of these shows, I think there's a mild exception when it comes to the boys, because I mean part of that whole shtick of the boys is turning it on its head. But anything where there's superheroes, they all have like super resistance, super armor. I don't know how to say it correctly,
Mm-hmm.
but like every one of them gets punched. Every one of them can take a punch. They might not be able to give a punch, but they can take a punch from somebody who has super strength and not just turn into mist. Like,
Yeah,
fucking no.
yeah.
Like
I
that's a superpower, being effectively bulletproof or being like hyper bullet resistant.
yeah. There's one of the examples that I really appreciated that did obey that is like the series Worm.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's just like there's some people who like super or a cape will rock up and people just pull a gun and they're like, I can still just shoot you. Like,
Nice. Yeah.
yeah. Like, there's some people that doesn't work, but
Invincible kind of did that too. Like there are more of there's still most of the characters have it to varying degrees,
yeah,
but less of them do. It's less like across the board.
yeah,
I would say that's trending in the right direction. I think the boys is like, for that dynamic, is predominantly great at doing it, because I think a couple of the characters just don't. Or actually, maybe most of them do. All of them just have super strength. It's just like a fucking
just
like
like a side
secondary.
effect.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I can also lift a car. Fucking what? All right. Speaking of superpowers, what you got next?
Um, autism doesn't make people by default awesome.
No, really, we've talked about this before. It really fucking doesn't.
No, like not to say there aren't really cool autistic people. Some autistic people are wonderful. Some are not. Some are assholes. But
Some
like,
it does allow to hyper fixate and
sure,
focus.
but that's awful. That's often often called savant syndrome, and that is really uncommon.
Yeah.
Like savant syndrome is surprisingly rare. So
It also, I
the
mean, you still have autism, and often it comes with a huge detriment.
yeah,
Like,
often like a lot of people who they do like the autistic thing, or like it, the most egregious example I could think of is like the newer Predator movie, where it's like it's the next stage in human evolution. Fucking boo!
wait, they said autism is the next stage of human.
Yes, I shit you not. Out, yeah, it's outrageous.
That's just
Um,
that's awesome.
it's so incredibly bad, but like they don't do a good job of showing like they have often people have trouble reading social cues or like filtering or just show a stim or whatever. Like they, if you're gonna have a genuinely autistic character, don't just have the plus sides, have the downsides too. Have them be fucking awkward and can't make eye contact for shit. Something, anything.
That's a decent one, even though the show's a bit hokey in many ways. But I think it's not The Good Doctor. What the fuck is that show? There's a show that the main character is like a surgeon, and he had like there's that fucking clip. I am a surgeon, and it's from that. I'm trying to remember what it is.
I think it actually might be the Good Doctor.
Is it The Good Doctor?
It might be. I know what you're talking about, though.
Oh, I'm totally right. It is The Good Doctor. Wild. So The Good Doctor, the main character, has savant syndrome, has like superpowered autism. However, even then, like he's really good medically, but like person to person, it's rough. And it does not go well for him in a lot of situations, and he makes himself look and act like an ass. They has to either go back and apologize, or there's whole arcs where he can't apologize because he's not wrong, and he doesn't understand how to socially just make things work.
Yeah.
And like that's a pretty good version of it. That's also pretty rare. A lot of times it's just superpowers and, oh, they're a little bit weird. It's like that weird isn't just a little bit, and it's a lot of the time, and it's usually a problem. And if you want one, you kind of got to show the other. And I think The Good Doctor is a good version of that, but it is mostly alone in its field.
Yep.
Another dumb power up that I cannot stand that needs to get retired, and this is a big anime one, is emotional freak out equals power up. It's the Super Saiyan for 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Except not going Super Saiyan. It's Naruto getting pissy and then fucking turning into a Super Cat and getting stronger because even after he's a Super Cat because he's angry now. It's like, I'm trying to remember there's a show that we both watched where, fucking Vinland does a great job of this, where one of the, like, up until the end of season, like the major arc 1 or season 1, Thorfinn gets angry, fights, whoops ass. And it works mostly. But then Askeladd just like
He
pistol
just
whips
baits
him.
him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just like, it's so easy to beat you when you're angry, you stupid boy. And just I think he beats the shit out of him with one arm or without a sword or something like that, just to prove a point of like, fuck you. And it's just like, yes, when you are emotional, you get like more energy, but it's way less directioned.
You were like, rage makes you really strong and it makes you really dumb.
Yeah.
Like I wholeheartedly, you punch harder when you're angry. Been on the receiving end. However,
You also
people
might miss.
people are very predictable when they're very angry, and
Yeah.
they're very like, you can bait people, you can trap people, you can manipulate people when they're angry. Like it's very simple. Like the scary people are the people that are really cool when they're angry. Run away. You're gonna die. But like, yeah, but yes, the just like, it's like I love Askeladd for that reason. It's just like, no, I can take advantage of this. I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, boy.
Yeah, just like, you be angry as you want. I know what you're gonna do.
Speaking of knowing what people are gonna do, what's What's this constant that you are not a fan of?
Gay people are not quit machines.
They're also not all fucking
They're not,
hyper
they're not all
extroverts.
social butterflies.
Yeah.
Like, socially awkward gay people exist. Also, stupid gay people exist.
Yeah. Those
Like-
are my favorite. Like, I've met, you remember that? Okay, so we're kind of almost ending up in a Patton Oswalt bit where he talks about he wants like
something about his cock.
yeah, so, like he's like, I want to play the dumb gay
The
best friend.
dumb gay guy.
I've run into them in real life, and it is awesome because that joke is not that far off of reality.
Yeah,
It's so hilarious.
like,
Because you know what? Gay people are people too. It means they can be stupid. It means they can be
absolutely
ignorant.
fucking brain dead.
Yeah.
I've been hit on by really dumb gay people, and I'm like, wow, you don't know how to carry a conversation. Oh my god. It's embarrassing. So, like, just they are like any demographic of people. They are capable of tremendous good, tremendous bad, and tremendous dumb. Stop making them these social butterflies that they constantly have a sarcastic retort and these clever, witty comebacks. And no, make them a dunce. Like, just make them people.
Representation. Make gay dumb again.
Yeah, exactly. Make gay stupid.
Uh,
Oy.
so another fun social writing convention that has no place in reality is every show the characters are talking about how they're broke and then they're out at a bar getting drinks and food. Don't know if you've been to a bar in the last 20 years, but that's where the most expensive drinks and food usually are for most people. Why can't they be outside of McDonald's? Why can't they be, reheating a burrito from 3 weeks ago in their kitchen? Why is it always make
like a
be
nice
more
bar
inventive?
too?
Huh?
It's always like a nice bar too. It's never
Oh
like
yeah,
a
it's
dive
not
bar.
it's not a dive bar ever. It's in downtown.
It's like BJ's Brewhouse minimum. It's like, what the fuck?
I'd like the $25 appetizer, please. Like, shut
Yeah,
the fuck
like,
up.
gee, what are we?
I thought
fucking
you were
tapas?
poor and hadn't
Fuck
worked
off.
in a year. It's like, yeah, I'm surviving off crumbs here.
It's right, crumbs and tapas.
Let them be poor. Let them go to McDonald's. Like, one of the kind of nice things was this isn't what it was, but like you can have the group hangout be like in that 70s show. The group hangout for like a season or two is like that, like Piggly Wiggly thing where they're like getting hot dogs and shit. Do that. It's fine. People don't care. Like, people don't care that they're in a nice bar. They can be in an ugly, making a shitty diner where they know the cook. I don't fucking care.
Making a Denny's.
Yeah.
That shithole of an institution.
Yeah. Let them get a grand slam and live it up like the rest of us.
Goddamn right.
Speaking of friends, what's your next retiree?
I gotta hit an anime in the face again. The power of friendship needs to take a fucking chill pill. Like,
together we can do anything.
yeah, the fucking power of Nakama is unstoppable. Shut up. Like, it's just like, it's such a cheap out. I feel like if you, especially since so many times where it comes up, it's just like not established why it works, or just it's just a Deus Ex. It's just another like mechanism for making a Deus Ex.
It's a less loud fucking emotional freak out power up.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and it just like, here, I'll fucking pull an old one, and it's just arduous to keep watching. Like, Inuyasha just kept doing the same fucking, like, every you know how every fucking villain was gonna be defeated? I'll tell you how. Because the girl's gonna shoot an arrow and use it to buff his sword slash, and it's gonna kill them. It's like, just lead with that. Like, why do we pretend we're gonna do anything else where it's like you fight them independently and you lose, but then the power of friendship and by their powers combine. Just fucking open with that. Why are we pussyfooting it? Just kill him. Like, if that's the end goal, Jesus, stop doing this like 11th hour fusion tactic shit. Or just have a better reason it works. Have a reasonable strategy. Don't just ham fist that shit in. Stop it.
Speaking of things to stop giving your characters concussions or letting them get knocked out and then wake up and shrug it off. Either don't do that. Fucking, I don't know enough about morphine, or like nobody knows and experiences enough about fucking what's the thing you put in a rag?
Chloroform.
Chloroform. I was going with morphine. I was like, that's not right. It's like chloroform. Dude, like bring back chloroform. Nobody does that anymore, and nobody knows where to get it. But like people are foolishly, like kids are of the opinion that knock them out. Like, no, do not do that. Like they like, because it is so ubiquitous in like films and TV that like, yeah, knocked out, he wakes up later and he's just groggy. No, he's not. He forgot who you are. Like like he doesn't know anybody anymore.
Like there's kind of two ranges on it, and it's one is you come back really fast. It's like Sanders talked, like he worked as a bouncer for a while and someone bottled him, and he basically just like kind of like basically got hit, bent over and like grabbed a table to steady himself, and then got back up and was clear headed. He's like, somebody's about to die. It's like you either shake it off instantly or you're gonna have an interesting couple hours.
Yeah.
It's like you see people get hit really hard playing football and stuff, and it's like they are not right for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the things that the human body can withstand, but it changes them is wild.
Yeah.
So I just want an excuse to bring this up, and this is tangentially close enough that I was listening to an interview with Eddie Hall, who has the record of the biggest deadlift in human history of
It was like
500k.
500 kilograms.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that before. Nobody's been able to do that before in a like sanctioned setting. When he did that, he got a brain bleed. He like fucking ruptured some shit internally, and they're pretty sure he got a concussion. Why does he think that? Other than a medical professional kind of was like, I think so. Is because for the next 3 weeks he didn't know his wife's name.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was like, I just didn't know her or my kids' names for like 3 weeks. I was like, I don't know. I know ish who you are. I don't fucking remember your name. I couldn't write it on a postcard. It's like, oh, okay.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's like a weird hyper end to a thing, but also like, this is from lifting a weight that like the human body can't, but like he was training to do. Like, imagine when an exterior force just fucking knocks you on your ass.
Yeah.
I mean, our favorite version of that is, Rampage, what are you doing here?
I don't know. I'm also very partial to the Jackass one. Is Butterbean okay? It's fucking Johnny Knoxville in the back of an ambulance.
Always looking out for his homies.
Yeah, fucking. I think he hits Butterbean once
before he gets his ass
just before he gets fucking beat to shit. Turns out amateur versus professional heavyweight is not a close fight.
No. All right, rounding out our retirees here. What's your last entry?
Stop making people stop making just where a character is they're the gay guy, they're the black guy. Don't make a single
the
demographic
one black friend.
Yeah, a token. Like don't make a single demographic or a single attribute a character's whole identity. Also, don't do that in real life. Like I get that people do it. Stop.
Yeah.
It's not fun writing unless it is like a dedicated purpose or they're there for a specific function. But like especially if it's like a main character or someone who keeps showing up, just making them a single fucking thing or a single plot device is just not good. It feels lazy. Yeah. It feels sloppy.
We contain multitudes. Let us be multitudinous.
Yeah. Like just just give people more sides. Make them multifaceted. Making them a single thing makes them flat as fuck.
And a lot of the times you can avoid this by writing less characters. You can keep
Yep.
your, you don't need to have like this rogues gallery of a cast. You can just have, 6. There's great shows that, basically have less than a dozen characters with names that you need to remember.
Yep. Like, and there's certain times where it is challenging, and there are certain things that do make it difficult. Like, no question. But especially if you're going to have your core cast, they can't just be a thing. It's
Yeah.
awful.
So my last one that needs to get retired, and it's headed there, but not fast enough, is the persistent man. The man that's like, he doesn't say it, but it's an undercurrent, is he's gonna make her love him. It's those from the original series, the Han Solo types, the standing outside with the boombox. No. Go up, ask her out, hit on her, make a move, and then when you get rebuffed, go, got it. Because, I mean, the people that don't do this, that arguably should in movies, would be the guys with the tism. That would make more sense. That is a tism move. But nobody does that because they're out here having superpowers. But to not get the social convention of, oh, they're not interested in me, it's just like, it's so Revenge of the Nerds.
It's
just
creepy.
It's creepy. Take no. There's ways to go about it. Even if you wanted to have the character show that they were, persistent or whatever, that shows up in being nice, being around, not hitting on them, and then getting rebuffed. I think that's a better way if you wanted to do it, of character sees girl, is interested, okay, have him approach, subtly and slowly in a social circumstance. So it doesn't walk up and just go, can I ask you out? Be like, hey, what's your name? I want to get to know you as a person. Become friends. Work up that way. If you want to, like, that's the way you can do it, where it's they're in for the long con, the game, whatever you want to call it, without being a fucking weirdo. They approach it in a, kind of roots up dynamic. Sure. But this idea of, hey, what's your name? I'm not interested. Oh, you will be. It's like, ugh.
You will be interested in this pepper spray.
You'll be interested in this back of this fucking cop car. All right. We've done a round of layoffs. It's time to hire
some new hires. Talent.
Who do we got first up? Resume number 1.
I love me some petty fucking foibles. I love just stupid, like,
just the fact that I said hire and you're like, you know what? I want some petty foibles.
Like, I I hate perfect characters, and so I love just stupid flaws. Or they're fucking great because everyone has stupid quirks and stupid flaws, and they're great. Like, those are like the most humanizing little idiosyncratic nonsense.
Yeah, like a great version of this is Coach Beard from Ted Lasso, where like multiple times he gets in arguments with people over music about how they're wrong about their like favorite band and how like these other bands are great. Yeah. They're mostly cutaway gags, but like that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just being opinionated and stupid. There's no reason for him to do that. He's just like, no, fuck you. This is better. Because I always want an excuse to rep Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but like Holt is kind of a perfect character, except he could be so petty and prideful.
Like, just to teach you 3rd grade statistics.
Yeah, exactly. Bone. Before I get lost in that sauce, who else are we hiring?
I want to hire a mediocre male in the bedroom.
He's barely adequate.
He's fine-ish.
Ish. Wow,
Ish.
that's what a ringing endorsement. He's fine-ish.
Like, you're not going to kick him out of bed. You're not sure if you're going to invite him back in, but you're not going to definitely, like, he's not, like, definitely dead to you. You're probably going to look around. You might settle for him. Just, we have this binary representation in American media when it comes to men and their sexual, like, prowess. They're either fucking the hardest cock in town. They never give up. They give you 13 orgasms and take you to the moon and back. Or it's a micro penis that needs an air pump to be visible to a microscope. There's no, just get in the middle. He's 5 inches and he gives you 3 good humps. Like, make him fine-ish. Like, it's okay to be mid. Everybody, like, so
Hooray, we're adequate.
So, for those of you who don't know, in America, the average size penis is like 5.5, in that range. Not very big.
I think it's like between 4.5 to 5, actually.
Oh, okay. We're slimming down. Like it. That means that a lot of women are settling for what the pornography business and what most people say on social or like on dating apps as substandard cock. Cool, let's show that. Have some mediocre dick. Have like, and not another fact. There is little to no training when it comes to the extent, like the performance of a man. You can't like train that. It's like your body's like natural, just like kind of roller coaster in that regard. By and large, obviously there's pills that change that, but like a lot of this is just pre-programmed. So this idea of like getting better or like we're gonna do this, like, nah, he's gonna suck. And showing that in TV is gonna help that guy be like, you know what? I'm okay. So this is a PSA for better writing that's more real, and also for the guys out here who are sadly watching between porn and just TV shows, feeling like they are not human. Nah, you're human. It's just, I don't know what porn star got a hold of every script that was like, man, he's got a horn on him. It's like, not everyone's a fucking elephant.
Yeah, not everyone is slinging hammers.
Yeah, especially consider when you think about, okay, if everybody's that average 5 and there are 12-inch dicks out there, that means
there's some 2-inchers too.
Yeah. No, I mean, actually, it would mean that for what? For every 3 12-inchers, you'd have, or like, it because 12 inches negates another person's whole dick mathematically for 5 inches. Right?
And then some. Yeah.
Yeah. So for every 12-incher, you need a 1-incher and a 2-incher to balance it out. There's a lot of nubbies for each longhorn, is what I'm saying. So just have it be mid. Have it be fine. She can walk out being like,
okay.
Yeah. Moving on.
I was gonna say, I gotta get you off this topic. You
gotta get me off this cock.
Okay. People don't change at the fucking drop of a hat. Like, people change like edging at a time, just a little bit, just shaving it away. Shut the fuck up. Like, my brain came up with like the metaphor of like a rock in a river, how you just shave away the edges, and I just said that very poorly, considering what we've just been talking about. So like progressive maturity, progressive development, not just this binary switch of the flick, like one consequence and they're suddenly better. Like the easiest and kind of best example I'd argue is like and there's a reason it's always lauded, is like Zuko. Like Zuko takes a lot of time to change.
Yeah.
And
it's small.
It's little bit over and over and over and over until eventually he is at a point where he can make his own like intelligent decision for things. Like it takes time, and I like that he gets to reflect on like what he used to say. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, like there is genuine remorse over who he used to be because he's changed. Like I think that's just the right way to do it because that's how people change. That's how people develop. Short of like cataclysmic one-time events, like most people change in like over time and with gradient.
Yeah. It's nuanced. It's difficult to show. It was one of my biggest gripes with Creed, is like the character changes all in one moment, which I mean, it doesn't not happen, but I think it's better and looks better in a writing convention and is more realistic
Mm-hmm.
to have it be, small little changes instead of, if you want your character to go from flying off the handle every time somebody says shit about, pick a subject,
Yeah.
to it, he's like relatively unflappable. You have it to where he catches himself, he's less, his like volume is lower. You can almost do it mathematically with some of these, of just changing change the runtime of this activity. Instead of going full cyclone, he just shouts, he slams his hand. It's there, but it's less, and then it's less, and then sudden, it seems sudden, but he doesn't yell. He just, braces a chair really hard or something, and you
Yeah.
just have it go that way. And it doesn't even have to be the full front. You can almost just have it be a one-off camera angle, a shot, or just a line of dialogue or whatever. It is something that you can do slowly.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is kind of interesting because I basically have the same higher of just slight progression over time over a series. Just kind of like, stop having characters level up. Like, I understand why, but I think it's also just bad for a a viewing audience, and also lazy storytelling to have a character suddenly be able to do this thing. We are just like hyper montaging where from one scene to the next they can do this insanely different thing. When instead you treat it like working out, where it's like, all right, you were lifting 50 pounds last week, now you're lifting 55, you're lifting 60, 65, 70, and just have
Yeah.
it go incrementally up.
Yep.
And we're not saying that these are easy things. This one is probably the more difficult thing to do because it's nuanced over time,
It's
and you
hard
have
to
to.
show well and not feel rushed.
Yeah,
It's difficult.
it
Not
is
saying it's
definitely the
simple.
most difficult thing that we are recommending, but it's also one of those ones that, sadly, at least in the United States, and I would argue the world, a lot of learning that takes place is from cinema, and so to have things, especially when you do dramas, when you do like character growth, having it be the more realistic I think you can get it without like, breaking the fourth wall, I think the better served your audiences and your product is.
Yeah. I would agree.
Next up, what we got, homie?
I I like when things are specific. So like especially since I love dabbling in the realm of things like superpowers and like magic systems, et cetera, et cetera. I like when people are smart about how they use like superpowers, how they use and like playing to their situation. I am a sucker for good strategy, and I love when people are clever about how they use practical application for their gift. I really, really like when people are smart and not just blindly stumbling into shit. Like, and I get that depending on character, they may just be blinded, stumbling, and being stupid. Um, but like part of the reason I liked Worm so much is that the main character with Weaver in Skitter, depending when you see her, is like she is clever about it. Like
Hmm.
she sets traps. She, you know, it's like the whole Batman can beat enemy with prep time, which
Sure.
a bit of a tired meme, but like she would just set traps. And like one of the things she did is kind of took advantage of one, like what an easy example is they're fighting when they're fighting Echidna, who is basically this kind of colossal bitch made of like animal parts with a human on top, um, who is replicating other heroes. Like she's just making twisted copies of them. Is she baits Echidna and has one guy who can make things immobile and like you can't move it. Period. It won't move. He stops it in time and freezes it, and she hands him a thing of fishing line, so it's almost invisible,
Hmm.
but it's basically a fixed garrote.
Oh,
And
very
she just
smart.
baits a kid to sprint into it, and it like cuts her in half. It's like it's really clever application and very situational.
Yeah.
Like I really, and so I just appreciate when characters take the time to think things out in advance and try and like, and I like when things go wrong and seeing them try to think on the fly and be clever. It's like that's what enables kind of cool David versus Goliath fights where they can win is by being clever, by using their situational advantages and like
Yeah,
taking
having
advantage of
it.
specific strengths.
Yeah, that's also one of the ways to avoid like raising your power ceiling is
Yeah.
having a rock versus paper versus scissors and expanding on that, as opposed to, well, they're stronger than me, so I got to get stronger than them. It's like, sure, but also that's so boring, and it is a very big. It leads to a problem for the longer the series is going to run.
Yeah.
Like I think that's real in certain circumstances. Like Michael Jordan had to take a couple summers and like bulk up so that he could like fight the Detroit Pistons like in the 90s. Sure, that's a thing, but it's because that was a weakness in his game that he needed to like level a playing field.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like fights in like it's so much more interesting to, instead of, two rocks running at each other, somebody setting a trap, but like what was that? I remember you telling me about a fight where a guy just, he was on the back foot the whole entire time, he's blocking, and then just throwing a kick at this guy's thigh the whole fight.
Oh yeah.
He's not leading the fight, he's just kicking his thigh, kicking his thigh, kicking his thigh. In the third
Yeah.
round, kicked his thigh harder, and the guy just like it just, he had set it up, the guy crumpled, and then it was like game over.
Yeah. Like there's people who like they'll just train and just drill leg kicks. Like you can it's not quite like rope doping, but like if you just over and over and over like fuck, why did I just blank on his name? Uh, uh, Mike Tyson actually used to do something where he just hit people in the arms.
Yeah, that
Where
that
he
way they'd lower their guard.
exactly, you just
Yeah.
at a certain point your arms just feel fucking heavy. You just can't pick them up to defend your head. And like same kind of thing. If I just keep kicking your leg, you're eventually just not going to be able to move quick enough. And if I push in and change the momentum, you can't backpedal fast enough, or you're flat-footed. If I just hit you hard enough, your balance is shit. You stumble. Oh, you're against the wall. Ba, 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 ba. Like there is a lot of strategy that goes to fighting, even without superpowers, and just having strategy is cool.
Yeah. So similarly, if Mike Tyson hits you in the arms a lot and then knocks you the fuck out, recovery takes time, and
Yes, it does.
often this is just not shown. Especially, they never show this in superhero ones where character, to start, like one of the things I would love to see more is character to start or end a season gets in this massive fight, puts it all on the
Mhm.
line, goes up beyond or whatever. For that, the rest of that season, the next season, predominantly they are in the hospital or they are in crutches and they can't help when they want to. And they have that moment of fuck, like they are unable to, because without cost, its value goes down and it's still cool. But when your character has to pay something to do something, its meaning to that character and to the story change. If a character can always do something, you're confused why they don't always do it.
Yeah.
But if they have to recover, if they get shot and like they can't walk around, like I think it's season 3 or 4 of Justified, Raylan has been shot, and like like a large amount of the beginning, and they didn't even do that great of a job, but it was nice to see at all, was the large amount of the beginning of that next season. He is like kind of gimping around. He's not really doing stuff. He's having to be like a little bit clever,
Let's
a
say
little bit
I
coy.
think that's like the end of season 2 is when he gets shot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's at Mags. He gets shot
Yeah.
outside. Yeah.
Yay, yay.
But yeah, just like humans, make him recover. Again, it teaches a valuable lesson to the viewer, but also it just makes the stakes more real. Like action movies, like whatever, we're here for a fun time. If you can do it, cool, but it's not needed. But it's when you come into dramas and believability is key. I think you're doing your audience and your story a disservice if you don't have them not taking time to recover, especially showing it. I think that's the other thing. Having a time jump where they come back later is kind of like a cop out. Like, oh, it took them time. Like, yeah, but like the viewer didn't experience it, so it's
You
not
don't have
real.
it doesn't have any weight.
Yeah, unless they missed something. If they, if they were in convalescence and oh, I'm back, it's like, and then part of the season is their kids being like, yeah, but you weren't there for this, that, and the other. Like, they didn't really lose anything. They just gained a beard. Next.
Speaking of recovery time and needing to show it, you need to show that heroes can lose and that people can just die. Like
Yeah.
people shouldn't have plot armor. Just plot armor in general. Just let people lose, let people die. They don't always have to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Like just I and it's one of those things too where like if you're just willing to off a more main character, suddenly everybody's everybody's in danger.
I mean, look at the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones. Everybody's like, fuck.
Yeah, like part of the reason I like Jade City, they just glass one of the like main characters, like one of the people you're following over their shoulder of just dies. It's just like, no, really? What?
No, they're gonna be back. It's gonna be a hospital scene next.
Nope. He found him belly up in the harbor. He's dead. Okay. Uh, we have a funeral next week. Yeah, like there's certain things where it's cool that like people have ways to survive, and I citing the same series, they did have a really cool reason and like kind of a good use of like Chekhov's gun why somebody gets to survive like a bombing.
Mhm.
Because he's literally like it's mentioned earlier that someone teaches them how. Because like using one of the jade gifts, you can like basically turn yourself into armor, and there's like a way you can protect yourself from dying to explosives. So, but like that at least has rationale, and it's cool that you can live. But if you're gonna have people live or just not lose or have a clever way out, there needs to be a good reason for it. Otherwise, let them fucking lose. Let them die. People are fallible. It makes it so much better. Next.
So as I work around them, and for a tiny bit of time, technically was one, they show teachers as being this font of love, this giving machine. I would love it if they showed what for some is a hellscape at times and a fucking marathon, like a daily marathon to most. It's the amount of work, the amount of love, the amount of heartache, the amount of just things that have to happen. Just think about the fact that a lot of teachers are more or less talking for like 5 hours a day and then grading and then creating work. And then they have this whole other life, hopefully. Except how the fuck do they? Because, most of that, what I said does not fit into 40 hours.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't fit into an easily like picked up and set down 40 hours. The amount of time, the amount of exhaustion, the fact that our mother made dinner looking back is wild.
Yeah. Kind of nuts.
And it's a lot. And it really needs to get shown more how much a lot it is. Having somebody be like, I'm a teacher and I'm out drinking at 10 p.m. You're a bad fucking teacher. Like, the likelihood that you're doing a decent job is near zero. If that's
unless that's on Friday, because teachers do like to party hard.
They need it bad.
Listen, I'm not saying they haven't earned it. Damn, do they go hard in the paint?
Yeah, gotta fucking
gotta
drink down the scaries before the weekend starts.
Yeah, swear about goddamn Clarissa in your class.
Yeah. Also, this other idea of them being like, "Oh, I love all my students." Bullshit.
Fuck no.
my favorite thing is the other day at work, we talked about how we all collectively agreed that middle school are the worst years to teach. And we went on tirades about students we had hated and this and that. Just like a good relationship, there are things that you might not say them because maybe they don't need airing, or maybe they do. But there's things that that person does that drive you crazy. Now imagine you've got 30 and they're kids and they're not adults and you don't have enough time to build like great relationships. A lot of them are going to suck. They're kids. They're going to suck. And I'm not saying that like kids suck and, should be like taken out back and shot. They're kids. They suck. They're stupid. They don't know things. That's part of being a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like what these children out here, like, yeah, everyone, myself, you, we all sucked. But that's because we were kids. And that's fine. However, to pretend like teachers love them all, like they're just, fuck off.
Unconditionally happy and go lucky about them. Fuck no.
Nope.
Absolutely.
The minute that door is closed, the fucking the screaming and gnashing of teeth that transpires as the demons just come racing out.
I mean, I still remember mom just like having to tell kids like, you are not worth my teaching credentials.
Yeah, instead of just like throwing them through a wall.
Instead of just slapping them in the mouth. Like, because mom has been vocal about wanting to at times.
Yeah. Fuck them, that's why.
Yeah, being a piece of shit.
I've literally overheard kids that I don't hate talk about how like they made teachers cry or quit coming back to work with pride. It's like, yeah, these are the monsters we're talking about. They need us. There's good in there somewhere. It's not on the outside. Gotta dig for that shit, homie.
All right, my last thing that I want to see more of. I do not like sanitized comedy. Like, especially if you're marketing for kids, it's very different. That's like a very deliberate. You're marketing for kids. You have to keep it clean, keep it tweaky. Okay, fine.
We're getting PG-13, like rated
I'm gonna
R.
say but you get PG-13, you get R. Don't sanitize that shit. Like, obviously, don't be like crazy and racist and hateful, but don't like try to be PC either. Find a happier middle ground. Part of the reason that I really appreciated like Harley Quinn is because it isn't. It's a very irreverent comedy, and I love it. Like, it's stupid. It's schlocky. Perfect. That's all I wanted it to be. Like, I didn't like a lot of the fucking new Futurama because it's like sanitized.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
It's Futurama light.
Yeah, and like Futurama, like the reason OG Futurama still holds and still makes me fucking giggle my ass off is because it unrepentantly rips at its characters and it makes fun of shit. Like, it pulls no punches. Why aren't we doing that? Like, what happened? Did your balls drop off?
I think this might be a societal change in times, because one thing I'm noticing is that the amount of things that are bleeped when I'm watching YouTube things is wild. Like, it's...
I was gonna say that in large part has to do with like a monetization, because it's like the first 2 minutes. Basically, if there's profanity, it cuts a lot of like the algorithm basically punches you in the face.
Okay, but I mean, but I think that might like be pervasive in other ways.
It probably is, and there's probably like trickle over effects, and I just despise them.
Oh,
it's not like
it's the worst.
It's one of those things that I'm like, we are not any less gross as a people. But we are equally profane. We are equally disgusting human beings. That hasn't changed in the last decade or two. What are we doing? Quit pretending.
Yeah, I mean, it also doesn't lesser a product, or like, I mean, like that. There's that great Patton Oswalt bit about where he talks about the two people talking about homosexuality.
Oh, yeah, like, listen to like their intent versus the words they use.
Yeah, it's just like, the intent is not harmful in most of these cases. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's part of the joke. Sometimes it's bad writing, which whatever. But yeah, it's just like, it's just looking at the boilerplate dialogue, not at what it's saying.
Yeah.
So lastly, to put a bullet on it, That's not a thing.
That's
Gunshots, if you are doing a dramatic or war film, gunshots, especially in a closed room, but just in general, are loud as fuck and often deafening when not wearing hearing protection. I love good gun fu, good action movie. Don't care about it there. But it's the movies that are trying to like be in any way realistic about anything, and then they have somebody go in a room and shoot shit up, or shoot near somebody, and they're not even wearing headphones, let alone earring protection, and they just walk out fine, having a gay old conversation. God damn it! It's like being wearing. I went shooting a couple of summers ago, and wearing 2 sets of hearing protection, and it was still a lot.
Yeah.
And the other one that's wild is you can feel when somebody's shooting a gun in a room. And I don't think that's appreciated. And I don't know how you could with film. But like if I'm in a room and you shoot a gun, I can feel the air move. Even if you're not shooting it at near, like I can be behind you at like a canted angle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like directly behind you where like it pushes that way. I'm not to the side of you where it pushes off of you. I'm at this weird angle where I shouldn't kind of be receiving any blowback. And I can feel that a gun has been shot in the room very clearly. Just like, I think to a differing degree, gunshots not equaling deafness or any kind of thing like that. Like it really, you're losing a lot of the dynamic that is that experience, which is wild and freaky. I think we can just let's just make gunshots deafening again. Let's bring it back to reality a little.
Make gunshots deafening again.
So yeah, go out there and deafen yourself, kids. I don't know. We're gonna throw it to an ad break. Let us know what you think should be retired, hired, or if we were wrong on one of these at either Super Prose Bros at Blueski, or hit us up at Gmail at superprosebros at gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. All right. And now a word from our sponsors.
Did you ever look at a modern day Messiah and go, wow, staring at you makes my eyes bleed?
Well, yeah. They're too perfect and shiny.
Well, not for long. With Hero Scrub, we take away that horrible perfect sheen so you can better appreciate the nuance and inadequacies.
Wow, just one wipe and they're already so much more relatable. How do you do it?
With our proprietary formula, Hero Scrub is proven to reduce perceived perfection in Deus Ex moments by up to 65% by introducing proper flaws and truly human elements into the mixture.
Now they're just like me. For real, for real.
Of course they are. Now you can both suck equally.
Wait.
Hero Scrub, because being too perfect is a thing.
Welcome back. This week we are continuing our exciting new experiment, The Exquisite Corpse, page 3.
Because you quit? Mr. Seddon prayed in the form of a question that itself hoped to be the answer. No, because you suck. This office sucks. And throwing people a pizza party is not a good substitute for dogshit wages. Before Mr. Stedman could get another word in, Jason turned and walked out, slamming the door behind him. For once, the people in cubicles were completely silent, staring at him like a ghost had appeared in their midst. And for once, he didn't care at all that people were looking at him. If anything, for the first time, he could somewhat revel in the attention as he triumphantly marched to the front door and sauntered out. While there were some nagging questions his mind wanted answered, like how long could he pay rent and what would he do next for money, he pushed those aside and simply enjoyed feeling of freedom and agency that he hadn't felt in years. The world seemed brighter somehow, the air cleaner, even the city cleaner. As he stepped over the threshold into the coffee shop near his office, he didn't feel that he was in any rush, as he ordered a bear claw and a coffee. Had this been what he was missing out on all the time? Have I seen you in here before? The woman asked as she handed over the pastry and paper cup. For a moment, Jason was confused why she was talking to him, but it did help there was no one there. Probably. I've been working at the office across the street for the last few years and would sneak over here sometimes for a coffee or lunch. She tilted her head in surprise. That sounds oddly past tense. Well, I was working there until about 10 minutes ago, he said with a strangely chipper tone. Oh, she said, were you fired or?
Tune in next episode for our exciting page 4.
So, what have you got to recommend to the people?
On my flight back, I kind of speed watched Lessons in Chemistry, a 1 season, very feminine forward program that's based off. I think it's like loosely based off a book. I don't think it's. I think it's kind of historical fiction.
Hmm.
But it's really fantastic. I think it does a great job of doing representation not only for women, but one of the neighbor characters who is given a very strong arc is a African American mother of 2, and also gets to have, it's a very sad historical event, but it transpires in the show, and I think has done a really good job of showing what goes into and what it was experienced by that community at the time. Uh, so it's like, I think it's like 8 episodes, maybe it's 10. It's on Apple TV, and it's just really good. It shows great characters. It's heartbreaking. It's beautiful. It's sweet. It has a really good cast of characters in that, like, very few of them are kind of traditional in any ways, but they are
Hmm.
all believably real. They grow, they change, like they accept hardships. It's really neat.
Hmm.
Um, so I think this is relatively like I hope this is a selling point. But so the character, no, I don't want to spoil it. Just watch the show. It's fucking great. Just know that it's heartbreaking, gets a little intense at times, but the ending is fantastic. What about you, Bro Hamster? What have you been?
I have been reading a book that I saw on a shelf and went, this looks interesting, and picked it up. And damn, I was right.
All right, so brief pause. When you, how do you determine books looking at them on the shelf? Do you read the back? Are you looking at the
I
cover?
literally saw the cover, it looked interesting. I read the back and said, huh.
Okay.
It's kind of a fucking crapshoot. Um, but yeah, cover art often suckers me in a little bit. I'm like, go on. The cover art is basically just like a tiny person facing down this colossal dragon. I'm like, go on.
Yeah.
It is kind of Norse adjacent, like fantasy. I say it doesn't have like the standard pantheon like Odin and all this shit, like Odin, Thor, etc. No, doesn't do that. But it's very like Nordic themed, um, and has its own kind of mythos where like the gods are dead, but there's still like remnants of them. Like there is a mountain range in the book that is literally the corpse of an old god. There is actually a city in like its head, like a big snake head. But it's metal as fuck. Um, they are Vikings and they earn their battle fame. They fucking kill a lot of people. Die in this book. Oh, holy shit! It is unapologetically bloody. Um, yeah, it's kind of what you want the, for lack of a better term, the Viking fantasy to look like and to be. Um, it goes hard in the paint. I dig it. I've been very much enjoying it, and it does a really good job kind of explaining a lot of its world building is really good. Um, it does a good job showing you like, because it's got 3 different characters you follow, and they each have very different viewpoints, and they get to kind of explain and show different things, which is really cool. And I'm very curious how they're going to be played kind of together. Is my assumption they'll run into each other eventually, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm about it. I think it's great.
That's fucking awesome. So sorry, first book in a series or standalone?
First book in a trilogy, I think.
And you've completely finished it, or you're just like
No,
still reading
I
it?
am in. I am still in book one. I'm going to order probably book 2 and 3 today.
Okay, so you
I'm
haven't
I'm
even
most
you
I'm
haven't
most of the way
finished
through
it.
book one.
Okay, that's sick. It's that good, folks.
It is very good. Very, very happy with it. But yeah, it's savage. it's unrepentantly savage.
Well, you said Viking, so I assumed.
Yeah.
Well, something that's not as savage, but I would still recommend is Rainbow Kitten Surprise. It's a band that I have liked in the past and that came across in Shuffle. I was like, ooh, I really like this song. And I'm torn. I'm going to recommend two because I'm a cheater McGeeter. Fever Pitch and Espionage are my two different track recommendations. Espionage is a new one that I've kind of come onto. Fever Pitch is where I knew them prior. It's a very distinct, different style of music, I think, than a fair amount of others. It's kind of folksy-ish, indie. I don't know. Give it a listen, see if you enjoy it. But I would highly recommend it. The name doesn't really denote, other than their whimsy, it doesn't really denote anything about the project. So give it a listen if you're in for a kind of low-key fun time. All right, as we come to a close out here, like every week, Pinky, what are we ending our episode with?
We are doing a little clip off of Emperor's New Groove, which we will not have prepared for, so we'll see how well we can do this off the cuff.
All right, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
I really don't believe you're my great great aunt. You're more like my great 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 great.
Are you finished?
Great great aunt.
You get all the honey. 3 orcas wearing pants, plate of hot air, basket of grandma's breakfast, and change the bull to a gill. Got it.
Is there anything on this menu that is not swimming in gravy?
I don't know. Go ask the chef. Squeakity squeak, squeak 'em.
Are you talking to that squirrel?
Yeah, I took 3 years in junior squirrel counts.
Just want to remind you, this movie is about me, not him.
Quick. Okay, go back to Burger. We're about to go over a gigantic waterfall, aren't we?
Yup.
Bring it on.
Sharp rocks at the bottom. most likely.
Bring it on. Booyah!
I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
You're excused. Anyone else?
Nah, we're good.
Get them!
Come on, men! Nobody lives forever!
Yeah, I'm a llama again. Wait.
Is that my voice? Oh well.
Gronk, break it down. Break it down. This is hand-carved mahogany.
All right, either show us where the talking llama is, or we'll burn your house to the ground.
That seems like a pretty crucial conjunction.
Yzma, put your hands in the air.
Why does she even have that lever?
Wait, how'd you guys beat us here? It doesn't make any sense.
By all accounts, I don't know either. A llama? He's supposed to be dead.
Yeah, weird.
What's with the chimp and the bug? Can we get back to me?
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Sorry. Oh God, he's doing his own theme music. I am so glad I was unconscious for all of this. The diner at the restaurant. You forgot to pay his check.
Look, man, we did not order 200 giant trampolines.
You could have told me that before I set them up. What are the odds that trapdoor led me out here?
Yeah, We're flying. Oh no.
Two reasons, big guy. One, what's the thing? Silly stringy music thing. We've been over this. It's a harp. All right, that's a harp, and that's a dress. Robe.
Reason number 2. Check out what I can do.
What does that have to? No. He's got a point.
And while I turned off the timer minutes ago but couldn't help ourselves, that is our episode. So thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to
like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
But don't forget, new episodes of Super Prose Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.